The other day, we were discussing Amazon's return to office policy, how they said that you basically are going to come to the office 5 days a week. I recognize that, this is going to inconvenience some people who have built their life around working from home, but y'all finna get back into the office. Now, when that news started circulating, my mom brain went to how the mothers who have been using work from home to be able to juggle their home life and their work life. I immediately thought of how they were going to be inconvenienced. But having this community, people weighed in on other people's plights, how people with disabilities were going to be impacted, how other groups were going to be disadvantaged. And it really made me think that we need to have these conversations because working from home has really enhanced a lot of people's lives. So let's talk about this post from Remote Work. This person says, return to work is the new war on the middle class. See, I hadn't examined that angle, but let's see what he says. He says, it seemed that the middle class finally found a way to afford a living. Remote work allowed us to move to less congested and less expensive locations while still being able to find a livable wage. We could actually have a decent life, raise a family, and we could even make it work on one income. We finally broke free from the dystopian urban centers that the upper class had us locked in. But they can never have enough. Everyone must suffer in order to serve them. Now they want us back to modern day slavery. Next will be corporate housing because none of us will be able to afford to live in those horrendous downtowns. Well, I'm not going back unless I'm desperate and only temporarily. The economy will get better. They will be competing for our labor again soon. And when that happens, I will remember exactly the infamous names of the companies that do not deserve my service. He is so right. Think about all of the urban centers that have terrible traffic and how so many people lose so many hours a day away from their family in traffic, doing nothing in particular productivity wise. That time could be better suited in their home or getting some rest so they're not stressed. Obviously, it costs more money to have to travel because it is too expensive to live close to your job. So people move further out because living right in the middle of the city is expensive. I do want to get to some of these comments. This person in the comments is being optimistic, saying, I'll offer you an alternative. Remote work is too in demand to go away. The only reason companies like Amazon and Dell do it is because they think they're too big to fail. This gives smaller companies a chance to hire better talent by offering perks like remote work. If you want the best talent, hire with in demand benefits. Remote work isn't even a necessarily difficult benefit to offer. If I was running a startup, I'd be ecstatic that Amazon and other big organizations are doing return to office. I can hire the great talent for my sales and engineering teams now. Great. They can't reduce demand no matter how much they return to office, and there will always be competition willing to offer it. See, there is a optimistic person, and I think that they're right. Too many of us are able to see the benefits and demand it, and as long as top talent is making demands and they are in demand, somebody will be offering work from home. Then the OP, Syrian King, says, thank you for your optimistic perspective. I couldn't agree more. Startups will benefit greatly from this once the economy comes out of life support. But I still think these large companies and their leaders have an agenda. The way they move like a herd is not a coincidence, in my opinion. Well, I hope their agenda fails, and I will do everything in my ability to make it fail. That is, avoid working for them. And that is true. They do have an agenda. I'm sure they are all working together. They have to kind of create some kind of monopoly or talk to each other, because if one big company is saying you have to return to office, but the other big companies are not saying that, obviously the top talent is just going to go to the other big company that's right over there that says that you can work from home. Important Sync says, I've worked remote for almost 10 years now. I will never go back. The agenda is commercial real estate, tax write-offs, and pressure from city governments to restore city economies. Office workers not ordering or going out to lunch, shopping, etc., is greatly impacting local businesses. The agenda is and always has been predatory. F them. F them all. Sick Boy says the big chains can suck a bag of beans. Okay, all right. People are now spending their lunchtimes in local mom and pop eating establishments, shopping in local stores, which is great for the small town economies. Important Singh says, preaching to the choir, my guy. Verpeen says, do they have to suck the whole bag at once or each peen individually? We're getting to the nitty gritty of the details. No, you says, same. Also, my upper management sees it as valuable and has actually allowed us to be more productive. So that's a good thing. Important Singh says, seriously, there's so much supporting evidence of increased productivity and better morale. It harms everyone who's not at an exec level. You know, the people like us that make the business functional in the first place. So I cut off this Redditor's name, but this person says the labor market is already going into the next phase of being for the candidate. The rate cuts cause companies to hire more, which will make this a candidate market again. Amazon and Dell did this at a very bad time. This person's I hate driving so much says, how do rate cuts cause more hiring? And this person says rate cuts drive business expansion, which usually requires those businesses to hire new employees. And then Mountain Sand says businesses take on debt to fund their operations, which is bad. And when those rates go back up, which they do, those businesses will struggle again or lay off again. Then the cycle goes around and around. So I'm not exactly sure that I understand that in, how interest rates and taking on debt impacts things, but I do understand how taking on debt can impact operations because they need to make up that money. So I do understand that. But it is all cyclical. It's all up and down. And that means that these people that get fired will find someplace else to get hired, and everybody is going to keep going around and around and around. But regardless, I hadn't thought about the middle class and how they are definitely, well, I don't even really know who's middle class anymore. I'm sure many of us don't even know who's middle class, but working from home has definitely saved money. You save money on gas. You save money on wear and tear on your car. You get to save time and energy and your stress level. And that's good for us. That's good for the people that might have disabilities, the blind folks. Um, it's an equalizer. It's an equalizer for women because the men can't just poach and take their work and be able to push it off as their own. Is a good equalizer for people of color who may have been facing microaggressions or just outright aggressions in the business world, in the office. So work from home has been positive for everybody except for the people who are mediocre, who need to still work from people, folks who want to get away from their families, people who look at the job as a way to, who can I have an affair with? Like they're poaching for their next cheating buddy. All right, y'all. I got some good answers when we were talking. I mean, I got some good comments when we were talking about Amazon's return to office initiative or situation. Let me know if I'm missing somebody. How has return to office impacted you? How has work from home impacted you positively? Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
Come on, players. Stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, Star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.